Thanks, Sam and Burke. I'm here with Savy King, a top-level athlete at her school, and she's here to tell us about some of her achievements and her journey along the way. What made you fall in love with soccer?
So I started playing when I was in 5th grade, so I was 10, and I started playing because one of my close family friends started playing soccer, and I was super competitive with him growing up, so I always just wanted to beat him in pretty much every sport that I played. So I started playing soccer because of that, and then I started getting really into it because I started off as a forward, even though now I'm a defender. But when I was a forward, I always tried to score like the same amount of goals or even more goals than him so that I could beat him in that too. And I guess like that competitive aspect kind of made me fall in love with it. And I also have met some of the closest people that I have in my life through soccer. And so that is just something that like I'm super grateful to have, and that's definitely something that helped me fall in love with it, as well as like being introduced to a bunch of coaches and trainers and all that kind of stuff. So it's just brought a lot of really good people into my life, and some that I would now even consider family.
What is the big dream you have for your bright and exciting future?
I would say for me, like the biggest thing would be either to play on like the Olympic stage or the World Cup stage. I think that it's so cool, especially seeing like the men playing on the World Cup stage right now, and seeing such young players that are as young as like 18 being able to do that is so cool. And like it's always been a dream of mine to play for the national team in general, but I think that the World Cup or the Olympic stage like brings a whole new level to what that means. So I think that it would just be super cool to like have that opportunity and represent the country at such a big stage.
Do you believe that you can make the first team for the national team and maybe help them lift the World Cup or gold medal?
I think that if I continue on the path that I am right now and continue with the training and progression and just making sure that I'm doing what I need to do in order to like have the ability to do that, especially going through college and hopefully going pro and all that kind of stuff, that I feel like it is possible if I stay on the path that I am right now. But with that comes a lot of hard work and perseverance through all the ups and downs that come with being an athlete. So I think that that's the main goal, is to be able to do so, and I hope that I'm able to do that. And it would just be even crazier to be able to like lift the World Cup trophy or like have an Olympic medal. So like that's the goal. So I hope that that's possible for me in the future.
Do you find it difficult to keep up with all your schoolwork and still train and be a top athlete?
At times it gets really difficult, especially when I'm gone for like long periods of time. Like I was just gone for a month, so that was really hard staying on top of it, especially because a lot of the places I go have different time zones. So like the one I was just in India was like 12 and a half hours, so it's really difficult to kind of stay on top of all the work. But a lot of my teachers are super flexible about that, about my schedule, and are super open to me like having extensions with work and stuff. So when I come back, there's not like a super large workload that I have to make up. So sometimes it gets really difficult and stressful and overwhelming, but especially while I'm there, like the coaches and the staff are super supportive with schoolwork and helping us stay on top of everything. So it wasn't super difficult in like keeping up with all the schoolwork and making it up, because all the teachers are super understanding.
What was your experience like playing in India in that World Cup? Like any favorite memories?
Playing in India was probably one of the best experiences of my life, especially being able to represent the country at a stage like that, especially like being a youth athlete is super cool, and just it's such an honor to be able to wear the crest and like it's like representing so much more than myself. It's the whole country and my family, my parents, my school, and just a lot more that goes into it than just me putting on the jersey. So I think that experience in itself was super cool, but it's been a really long process before making it to the World Cup. Like it's been a year of training that we did as a group, but also like years of training before that in order to get to that point. So it was just like everything kind of coming to fruition when I got like the call up to go there, which was super crazy. And I was so happy that I got to like share that moment with my family, because it's something that all of us have like put a lot of time and effort into. So, and just being there in general was super cool because I've never been to India before. And so like playing in the first game was definitely probably the most insane moment of my life, because we were playing the host country, which was India. So there was like thousands of people in the stands and everyone was screaming, and when we were in the locker room you could like feel like the locker room moving because of how loud it was and how many cheers, how many people were there. And it was just crazy, especially walking onto the field for the first time. And like my mom and some of my family was able to be there with me, so just having her be able to watch me on that stage is super cool, because at the end of the day, like I'm just trying to make my family proud and kind of chase my dreams and like bring them along the journey with me. So like that part was super cool. And I think just being able to interact with all the other teams that were there in all the different countries and just see, like, experience a different culture in India because it's so different there. And I was lucky enough to be able to play in 3 different cities. So like all of them gave me a little bit more perspective of what it's like because all the different cities were different. So like for that aspect of it, I thought that was really cool too. But honestly, like being able to play with the people that I went with was super cool because a lot of them I'm going to college with. So it was just like a chance for me to play with them before we play again together in college. So that was also amazing, and like they're like my second family now, and I just had the best time with like the players and the coaches, and it was just the best staff ever. And it's just such an honor to have that opportunity to go there, and I'm just super blessed for that opportunity.
What made you commit to UNC in that school?
So UNC is probably one of the best soccer universities in the country. They won like 22 national championships, which is like substantially more than a lot of the other colleges. So the soccer aspect is insane, and just being able to play for Anson Dorrance, who is one of the most winning soccer coaches in the history of women's soccer as well, and then Damon Nahas, who has also been a part of that journey. So like being able to be coached by people of that caliber is something that I've always wanted to have, just so that I can improve and like they can help me get to the level that I want to play at, which is pro and the national team. So that part was like really important to me as well. I originally wanted to like stay closer to home, but I was so drawn to UNC just because of how beautiful the campus was and how like much like how family like the team was as well, and just all the aspects of UNC I just fell in love with when I went there. And I'm just so happy that I have the opportunity to be able to play for them, and I'm super excited for the next 4 years.
Did you ever think that you would make it this far into your career and still have so much more?
I wouldn't say that I didn't think it. It's definitely something that I've like always wanted to do. Like it's always been a goal of mine, and I always like have my goals and my aspirations like written down so I could see like my progression and the steps that I took to get there. So it's always been something that like I've always wanted to do, and you know, it's being in like I just wanted to do what I could to be able to get there. So I never really had a doubt in my mind. I just kind of went with like rolled with the punches and saw where I was able to get to based off of my training and my environment. So I think that like just being able to get there kind of was like a full circle moment, and I'm super happy that I was able to do that. But I'm super excited to see like what the future holds for me and what I'm able to do in terms of soccer, and see how far I can make.
Thanks guys, back to you in the studio.